everybody, this is a brief light language transmission for the super full moon in Capricorn. So the card at the top is the energies coming in. So these are the light codes we're bringing in, and what they will be creating in the physical world, which is a storybook ending, 10 of Cups, harmony, blissful relationship, emotionally fulfilled, stability, idyllic, peace, and divine love. And then the cards underneath are what we're shifting out in order to achieve that outcome. So what is shifting out in our lives as the codes come in? It shifts out these things. So the process is shifting these out. These are the things that after the transmission, with your conscious awareness, seeing these and mindful of these, and your energy bodies agreeing to release, your physical bodies agreeing to release. These are the things we're releasing. And then at the bottom there, this is the Queen of Swords. This is what's at the foundation of the matter, which is essentially clear boundaries and cutting away what we don't need, accepting only what's deserving of us. So working along this middle column is the Emperor in reverse, which is excessive control. So we're releasing anywhere where we've been overly controlling, and there are many reasons we can be overly controlling. It can be patterns, it can be learnt behaviours, it can be holding on tightly to something for fear, trying to control an outcome or try to control situations to get the outcome you want, but controlling comes from a lack of flow, a lack of trust, and a lack of alignment to the understanding that what you're vibrating to is what you're creating. So this is about releasing anything that's not allowing us to be in that manifestation from a higher place. So places where we're inflexible and undisciplined, lack of control or excessive control, rigid, dominant or aggressive, and it's also releasing issues that come from father being absent or unhealed father wounds. So very much the wounded masculine. We all have masculine and feminine now, so it's the wounded masculine aspects that we're releasing, and that's the start of the process. It's the first thing we're releasing. And then in the middle there, which also comes next after releasing that excessive control and stepping into a trust of what you're asking for, calling for, and following the steps towards, is the Chariot, which is upright. It's the strength of will, forward movement, determined, willpower, success, control, action, travel, focus. So once you've cleared the trying to make things happen at the mental level and acting on strategy or the mental fears or mental control, you come to this strength of will that carries you forward. And that comes from inspiration. So it comes from the steps given to you at a higher place that are in response to your desires and your dreams and your requests of how you want your life to be, your intentions around how you want your life to be, and you get that forward movement, like there's a wind behind you, like you're being carried forward on a chariot. And then the Hierophant, non-conforming, this is upside down. So what it's trying to say is being able to step into those unconventional life choices, being able to be who you are, alternative lifestyle, freedom, challenging the status quo, thinking for yourself. So you're stepping out of that patterning and those fears. You're trusting, you're deepening into what's really true for you, what's the highest good for you. You're allowing the energy and the frequency to drive you forward in the right direction, being informed from a higher intelligence, into the things you want to do that don't match what's been set out for you from the logical mind, or from parental patterning or ancestral patterning or societal patterning, but really allowing that inspiration to allow you to be the way shower of things that haven't been conceived of yet in this world, or that don't match the status quo, that don't match the way life are. And in this way you can be the revolutionary, the breaker of those things that don't work, the one that improves things through inspired action, setting up new higher level plans and higher level ways of doing things that are driven from heart and soul rather than from mind, logic, control, fear and power play. Thinking for yourself, doing what inspires you, what drives you, not what enables you to fit in. So at the base, mentally strong, inner strength, quick-witted, realistic, quirky, direct, chatty, candid, sharp, and fair. To me, the Queen of Wands is unapologetic. And I like that it's the feminine here, because the feminine energy is intuitive, it's connected to higher intelligence, it's heart-driven, it's compassionate, and it's got the highest good of all in. It's holding a space for that in everything it does, the feminine energy. But here, the Queen of Swords is harnessing that feminine energy in a very strong way, where she cuts away anything that isn't those things. She cuts away anything that's not aligned to spirit, that's not aligned to her truth and her greatest good, that feels toxic to her. She cuts it away with her sword, and she's very clear and unapologetic about that, and she's strong. So at the base of that, that's what's grounding this higher harmony, storybook ending, blissful relationships, fulfilled stability, is grounding it into physical reality by having clear boundaries, clearly stating yes or no. Yes, I accept that in my life, or no, I don't, and taking action in that direction. Atatati takata koto, atatati tatati takata katoko, akatatati tatatati takata katoko, akatati tatatati takata katakoto, akatati tatatati takataka, akatati tatatati takata katoko, akatati takatati takata katoko, akatati takatata takaka. I'm saying the non-conforming. Akatatati takataka koko, akatatati tatakako. I'm hearing it's not only not conforming to cultural structures or religious structures or new age structures or spiritual structures. It's also trends, just not trying to match with anything outside of you or anything coming to you from the outside, but conforming only to your inner expressions of who you are and what's right for you and what vibrates at the right frequency for you, making your choices based on that. Akatatati takatokoto, akatati tatatati takakatokoko, akatatati takakati takakakaka, akatokokokoko. Okay, telling me to grab another card actually. So this is the Intuit Tarot. Same as all the other cards. And the card is the Page of Cups, romantic gestures, youthful dreamer, idealist, naive, psychic, inner voice, love offer, beauty, romance, messages, sensitive, spiritual, musical and artistic. So to me, I mean, the Page of Cups, if it was a person, it would be someone quite young and inexperienced in love and easily distracted, but romantic and dreamy. But yeah, kind of easily distracted. But in this context, it feels like a return to innocence in terms of romantic feelings, as you've shed all the romantic feelings that, or reasons for being in a romantic relationship that come from conformity or excessive control, or cultural or religious parameters or boundaries, because the Page of Cups is kind of reminds me of Pisces, kind of unboundaried, unlimited, follows not necessarily the heart, but more like the whim, follows the whim, but follows a whim of what they're drawn to. So there is like a fine line, I guess, between following guidance, following what your heart and spirit guide you to, and being distracted by a whim. Atatati takatakataka, akatati tatatokoko, akatatati takakatokokokotokoko. So Page of Cups is drawn to beauty and romance and connecting to others at a deeper level, but also to their inner voice. And I can see this also as encouragement that if you've been feeling like there's been a lack of that in your life, that it's coming in now in this new cycle, with this full moon, and with the the eventual outcome of the storybook ending that's represented by the Ten of Cups and that divine love. But the key word here is stability and idyllic and peaceful and emotionally fulfilled. It's like it's stable. So the Page of Cups doesn't really symbolize stability in love and that emotional fulfillment. It's that very early stages. It's the initial gesture, the initial message, the initial making contact and reaching out. So we're grounding that, because especially in the twin flame relationships, it's been a lot of keeping these feelings to ourselves, especially the divine masculine of the pair, very much hiding it, not wanting to reach out but not doing it, not taking the action. This is returning to that innocence of the heart, and not overthinking it. So the Emperor is the excessive control, and we've removed that excessive control, which was stopping the divine masculine from following his heart and making that gesture. So that voice in his head, that controlling voice, that's assessing outcomes and using strategy and logic and self-criticism even, has gone. That voice has been silenced. We're returning to that innocence of the heart in the masculine. And this combined with the feminine showing clear, concise, loving boundaries about what she will and won't accept, and being clear about that in a way the masculine can understand. It enables a reaching out from the heart. Atati takatoko, akatati takatakatoko, akatati tatatakako. Now, I'm hearing the masculine saying, I'm coming. So I'm on my way. So remember that we have the masculine and the feminine within each of us. And this is happening within us and then reflected outwardly in our environment and with the people we know, because our vibration changes. What we vibe to us changes. The way we think about ourselves and feel about ourselves is unconsciously transmitted outwardly, and people have to treat us that way. So they have to respect those boundaries. If there are no boundaries, people will treat us like we've got no boundaries. And that's different to what we think or perceive that we feel about ourselves, or what we consciously want or think we deserve. It's what we energetically vibe. So there can be unconscious patternings from past lives, from ancestral patterning. As we shift those and cut those away, this is the masculine and the feminine, but the feminine within us is cutting that away and saying, and really standing in the power and saying, this is what I deserve and I won't accept anything else. That's when the masculine within us can step forward with a joyful heart, admiring the beauty, listening to the inner self in the heart, and make that initial contact. Atiti taka 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 to toko. Akatati taka kaka kaka. And now I see the masculine on the chariot with forward movement, determination, willpower, success and focus. And that emperor just sitting back, watching in a different way. So we have two masculines in power here, the emperor and the hierophant. Both are in the reverse position because we're releasing that rigidity and that mental, strategic structure and control. And we're stepping into heart and soul and elevating life and relationships to divine love and divine relationship. Blessings, everybody. That is a release. That is a healing and an activation. So you may notice those things coming up in you, like excessive control and excessive conforming to structures, cultural or religious, or what you've been told is right or wrong. You might find them coming up. They're coming up to release. So just thank them for their part. They've played an important part. But now Queen of Swords is cutting them away. So there will potentially be some grief come up around that. Okay, blessings everyone.